Anytime, it's recording.
I was waiting for the unpausing there. Welcome to another Whiskey Wednesdays with Evan and Thad from On Purpose Media, where good people are having good conversations, and any good conversation worth having is worth having drunk.
Exactly. This is actually take 2, by the way, just in full transparency. I also did a little story on it, so
I saw that.
yeah. But hey, man, transparency. Not everything goes according to plan. Sometimes you fuck shit up. So,
Rarely. Yep.
you know, we're not experts. We're not pros. I mean, we are pros, but we still fuck things up.
I was just gonna say, dude, come on. That's exactly what we are as experts and pros. We're expert marketers, not expert technicians. That's why we hire people.
I cannot wait for the day that we hire somebody to do all the techno shit. Be like, hey, we recorded a video. Here's the raw link. Post that shit. And away we go. So let's jump into it. As everybody knows that we've been following us, for anybody that's new watching it, we do a random question each, and then we kind of talk about an agency roundup and kind of shoot the shit and drink a whiskey. So the first question, I will flip her over to you, the first random question generator. In one sentence, how would you sum up the internet? And before you answer, I wish that was my question.
Your question's not as fun. The greatest opportunity yet to be tapped. It's has so much potential and has given so much to humankind over the last 30 years of its existence. I remember having dial-up internet in like 95 at my parents' house, and them always yelling at me because it was like $1 a minute just to get on it back when there was Netscape and AOL.
Did you have the thing that popped up? Like, so if you're on it, because there's only one phone line, and so if somebody's calling, it would pop up. Man, my sister hated me because I memorized her friends' phone numbers, and I would just decline all night long. I was in grade 9, like, fuck, I'm not going out. I'm not, so I'm like, decline. Anyways, continue.
And it was all on one phone line, right?
Yeah.
Didn't matter if it was a fax coming in, a phone call coming in. Yeah. The internet.
So sorry, not sorry, Jana. Sorry, not sorry.
See, I never had that problem because my siblings already moved out by the time that I was at that age. So, but yeah, that's what I feel about it. And I mean, I mean, most people look at the internet now and the vastness that exists on it. It's such an amazing tool, but still only 1/3 of the world's population has access to it. There's 2/3 of the world's population that doesn't even have access to the internet yet. And the amazing things that are going to happen once they have access to all that information, the amount of geniuses that exist in this world that yet have been able to have access to that information is just incredible. And it's amazing to think about what is to come once they have access to that information.
Well, and you think about like, in our lifetime, I mean, we were born mid-'80s. Technically, we are millennials. Dirty word. I think I said that in one of our other videos too, but I don't really identify as a millennial. There's a generation that's between the millennials and the whatever the generation was before the millennials, and that's kind of what we fall into. But Facebook is like 17 years old, right?
Yeah.
Like, so how old is Facebook? Let's find that actually out. About 16
2006.
Years. February 2004. So you think about that, 16 years old. Like, they just got their GDL, their driver's license. So
Crazy.
like, and if you think about like how they're only 16 years old, I mean, yeah, Apple and Microsoft, they're 45 each, but the amount of, I guess, rapid acceleration in what has happened on the internet, especially within the last decade, has been insane. But like you look at 2 of the world's largest populations, India and China, 1.3 billion people thereabouts on each one, and the majority of them are just becoming online. It's gonna be a massive hit. So,
totally.
Anyways,
you ready for your question?
Yes, I guess so.
What is something you'd never do again?
And loaded question. I want to say so many things, you know, drugs, but you know, some of the stuff I learned is from some of those things that I've done in the past. You know,
Absolutely.
I always like to say no regrets, or as some people spell on their tattoos, regrets, with an A. But you know, I think one of the things that I'll never do again, and we chatted about it last week on Whiskey Wednesday, is having a coach and a mentor. Um, there's
You
been
would never have a coach again?
no, I will have a coach again. I'll round it up. I'll get back to it. So this is our second whiskey of the day. So it's yeah, and we drink them straight. We're on the rocks. There's no mix in this. So unless it's an absolute shit whiskey, but then you probably shouldn't drink it. So
No, not worth it.
paint thinner, that's usually vodka. Reminds me of the time in Vietnam. Anyways, so one of the things I'll never do again is thinking that I can do it on my own with a little to no help. You know, there was a time in my life where I thought, I mean, I still think it sometimes, and I kind of get caught in that own trap, is that you know, thinking that I can do it on my own. You need somebody. I mean, the fundamentals of success. I mean, you read a lot of the material that's out there, and a lot of it's the same material, just said in different ways to relate to different people. So a lot of it's the same. So if you think of a lot of it's the same, your path to success is the same. You might as well jump on the coattails of somebody else who's already completed it and already done it, to be able to turn decades into days, or decades into years, however you want to phrase that. I like decades into days. But if you think that, you know, you can become a great leader all on your own, or a great business person all on your own, or even a great spouse all on your own, you're completely wrong. And that's something that I'll never do again, is going back to thinking that I can do it all on my own, because the help is out there, and we just need to actually dive in and ask for help. You know, the three toughest words to say in the English language is "I need help." But if you can say those sorts of things, then you're going to be stronger as a result, you know, of it. So I think that's my big thing in terms of something that I will never do again.
Well, it's people seem to take pride in the idea of being self-made, but when they actually realize that any of those self-made millionaires, billionaires, whatever you're looking at as a role model, none of them did it on their own. Everyone had a hand up, whether it was as simple as a parent saying, I'll help you, and just raising you the right way, or whether that was a business mentor, or whether that was a coach along the way, or a teacher in high school or elementary school. Someone along the way offered you a hand up to give you the education, give you the nudge, or the self-esteem, or the confidence, or the education to know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So absolutely, that is 100% a great answer.
Yeah. So cool. Let's jump into the agency roundups in terms of what we learned slash you know, excelled in last week, what we could have done better.
Yeah, you had some exciting conversations this week with some clients that have had some great results. So
yeah, no, I'm actually super excited about that. You know, one of the things that, you know, I chatted, I'm super excited to get their testimonial from them once the microphones come in, because it's going to be better, you know, for that to be able to go and do a testimonial with them. But you know, I asked them, you know, the amount of leads, and there's a lot of learning experiences actually out of the last month that we can put into play. You know, one of the things that you know, I straight up asked them, you know, we had our first campaign, and then we're going into our quarterly session to plan out the next 3 months. I'm like, so how'd it go? That was the first question that I led with. And you know, it's a husband and wife.
Full transparency though, you know, before you ask that question, what kind of an answer you're going to get back.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be great. But I wanted to hear his words, right? I wanted to have his belief bought into what we can do. And he's an HVAC client too. And you know, the success that he had for his campaign is hands down, and they will even say this, better than anything they've ever done before in terms of their own campaigns. And so what he was doing was, you know, he's ran some of his own ads, and I guess I say he as in like him and his wife together as a team. So don't let me confuse that when I say he or she. It's interchangeable in this scenario. And so he's ran some of his ads himself, you know, done some of the boosting on the back end. but he's never had the level of engagement on the ad that he's had. And ROI in advertising isn't everything. I know a lot of people think that, hey, you know what, I want a true hard fast ROI. I want it proven, and you just can't do that in advertising. I mean, you can do it to some extent in the digital world because of the tracking capabilities that you can do, but it's never going to be 100% accurate. So if you put everything in there in the ROI, it's not going to happen. After I asked them how to go, I'm like, well, how many jobs do you think you land? And they're like, I don't know. Like they could do a better job of tracking it. And I'm like, no. You're right. You're right on the money, because let me ask you how you view advertising. And when I asked them, like, do you view it like this? If you spend this much, your sales are here. If you increase your sales, your advertising, your sales go up. If you decrease your advertising, your sales go down. That's really the truest measure to see if your advertising is working. Or are you the type of person who sits there and nitpicks everything to say, I got an ROI from this, and this is my ROI from this, and this is my ROI from this, and this is my ROI from this? What type of a person are you? And he's like, I'm the latter. I just want to see my name everywhere, because if my name's everywhere, guess what? My phone's going to ring. And if my phone rings and everybody knows my business name, then I've done something right. And that's really a true measure of the advertising campaign and success. I mean, one of the things that we could have done better, in the campaign, was set up a proper retargeting structure and a retargeting campaign in that. One of the things that, and I know I've known about retargeting for a while, so why I didn't do it slipped my mind. Budget, maybe possible budget constraints and such. But if we were to set up a retargeting campaign where if somebody takes a look at the landing page and then doesn't submit a quote request, we can then retarget them with another ad saying, hey, how come you didn't submit your quote, sort of a thing. So there's some improvements that we're going to be making going into the fall, but like the level of success by hiring an expert, I think, was the key determining factor there for him to obviously say, okay, cool. He's already talking into next spring on what we can do. So it just shows when you have the honesty and transparency, showing the reports and having that, that deep dive with people, it's a key thing. So I think that was a huge, win for us this last week, but also a huge learning experience in terms of, some of the retargeting. And I have other clients that have set the retargeting up front since then. So it's not to say, hey, if you're a current client and watching this, we don't have retargeting. No, we do. It's just, that's one of the things that we could have done better on his campaign. But his campaign was already crushing it, with everything that we set up. So,
well, and that's exciting. Like when you can deliver tremendous results, far exceed expectations as to what they're looking for in a return, and then still have room to grow within that and continue to deliver even bigger results. And this was only one advertising medium. We were only doing Facebook ads, right? Once we start to introduce all these other opportunities for them, like things are going to blow up. And I love what you said as well about ROI, and his belief already is fantastic as far as a business owner goes. Just saying, I want my name. I don't care how people come to me, as long as they know who we are, like we're winning. And, I have a conversation with another marketer regularly, and she was saying, you know what, if a business owner.
Oh no, you're frozen. I wonder how long it's going to take for him to unfreeze.
To be able to get the results you're looking for over the long term.
You were totally frozen.
Oh, you were too.
Yeah, sweet. It says my connection is unstable. So
well, I'm glad you're recording this.
Yeah, I don't know how that works with recording. If Zoom actually has the glitch, or if they're smart enough to figure out and just kind of go through with everything. So
guess we'll find out.
Yeah, guess we'll find out. So I don't know what minute mark that was at, but hey, whatever, we'll look through. Anyways, you're saying.
Moral of the story: if you're trying to measure ROI from your marketing, and you can pinpoint exactly where every dollar was spent and how it came back to you, then you're not marketing enough. You need to be able to be everywhere and have so many different avenues bringing in marketing or revenue back to your business that you don't know where it's coming from. And Tony Robbins gives this example as well. What would you feel more comfortable sitting on? A 9-legged stool or a 2-legged stool? Right? If each leg represents a different marketing channel for your business, if 3 of those legs get taken away, you still got 6 legs holding you up, right? If Facebook changes their algorithm or jacks up their prices by 10 times, how many other areas of marketing are you out there in, so that even if that goes away, you're still going to be okay?
100%. Cheers to that. Clink.
All right, my marketing win this week.
Yeah, your agency. It doesn't have to necessarily be a marketing win. It could be anything in the agency roundup.
Totally. Well, and it was a couple of great conversations that I had with clients recently. One who just had their best sales month ever here in August of 2020, 5 months removed from being, the stay-at-home order from the government, and having their business completely closed for 2 months. They said, not only was it our best month ever, it made up for being closed for 2 months and then some, which was phenomenal to hear. But in our conversation, they were just shouting back to me everything that I've been talking about for the last 5 months, and that don't stop your marketing. Don't stop being present in front of your ideal client. And they didn't do that. They kept out in front of them in a multiple, again, coming back to the idea of how can you be in front of them as many different ways as possible. They were in front of them in every different avenue possible, so that when people were ready to come in, they came to see them, right? How can you advertise your business in such a way so that no matter what is happening in the economy, your ideal client is still going to be noticing you, paying attention to you, and when they're ready to buy, they're coming to see you, right? And that's what they did really well, and they just had their best sales month ever. Another client just had their best months ever in terms of quality of clients that they brought in. So they had some of their biggest deals come in, and they were able to leverage their advertising for a lower ticketed item, in that, was a lawyer, a law office for wills and estates, right? A low ticket item, something that no one's going to come in on a regular basis because they don't have the time to do it and they think that they're not going to die, right? Those are the only 2 reasons why people will not come and see you, to update their will. Well, then you have a pandemic roll around where, of course, people are going to be thinking, oh, death is a possibility with a virus that's spreading rapidly, and the media is telling me that I could die from this, and I need to stay home from this. And all of a sudden you have the gift of time because you were sent home from work and the government's paying your bills. Well, now you got 2 pretty good reasons as to why you should update your will. So of course they were getting those clients in the door, and then they were able to turn that around and land some bigger ticket items on top of that by delivering exceptional service up front. So it was really, really cool to see, really great to have those conversations. Again, 2 clients that took it to heart and were able to advertise throughout the entire pandemic in a responsible way, in a, not beating the dead horse of, hey, we're here, we care, we'll be here when things are back to normal. Well, there is no normal. So that message kind of fell on deaf ears. But just that idea of staying present and, hey, we're here for you, and it might not be the right time for you, but that's okay. If it is the right time for you, we're here. And they really hit it out of the park. So I was super happy for both of them.
Nice. And the big thing is that they know their ideal customer, right?
Totally.
And they know their ICA, or their ideal customer avatar. I'm pretty excited on Friday when we have our call. We're going to be talking about some of the things that we've been doing in our business to kind of, almost take what we started. What we started is still there. It's still the foundational core of why we got into this business, but changing our business model a little bit just to serve that ICA, or the ideal customer avatar, a little bit better, with that. And once you solve that main problem, then you can really go a deep dive, into that. And I almost just want to start talking about it now, but I got to save a little bit. Gotta save a little bit for then. Plus, the whiskey's almost done. It's been an empty stomach, and it's supper time, so you get the nice whiskey buzz going. So,
and it'll be on Friday, so maybe we can have some beers while we have chat on Friday.
Yeah, we could do that. I was looking at the calendar of what time it's scheduled for, but whatever. Actually, you know what? I can have some near beer, so I could drink a beer that has 0% alcohol in it and still be fine.
There you go.
Perfect.
You have fun with that. I'll drink some fruity beers since it's the morning, and that's a good breakfast beer.
Well, it's like noon, 11:30. So
yeah,
11 a.m. 11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Whatever. I've had beers earlier.
Usually not working.
Can't say that.
Yeah, not usually.
No.
Awesome.
Well, no, I said I can't say that I haven't had beers earlier while working.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I mean, come on, man. I work from home. You work from home. Been working from
Yep.
home for 6 years, 2014. And quite honestly, wouldn't change it at all.
Not a chance.
No.
Awesome, man.
So
Well, this was a great chat. I enjoyed it. Good
the
whiskey,
second time
good
around,
people.
yeah.
Nailed it.
Ah. Oh, and by the way, if you're, we haven't hit stop yet. If you're whatever medium you're watching this on, make sure you either add us as a friend, follow our business page, subscribe on YouTube, follow our Instagram, whatever medium that you're checking this out on. Be sure to follow it so that way we can continue delivering some straight goods and some no BS value.